she can count on him. She try to be nosy and hit up my ex. She like, girl, you can count on him.
Hey, we need more. Tell them we need more. Keep a score. Hey, 16 cars in my
big numbers, 100-minute bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, whole team counted, that's a big number. Big numbers, 100-minute bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, blue hunts, whole team counting, that's a big number.
Yeah. One up and up is magic. With the gang, we ball out.
Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what ought to be a great matchup between the Oakland Raiders and the New Orleans Saints. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
From a city that's played host to 10 Super Bowls, here's a look inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Oakland Raiders and the New Orleans Saints. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talked about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. On play action, it's Wentz. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. The 20, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Darren Waller, his second touchdown on the season, as his guys are able to... Very similar to what we just saw. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. First carry for Josh Jacobs. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. Now Wentz on 3rd down. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
In tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now.
Exactly. It's like that paper being ripped. And right now, they've got to find a way to get it back together.
Great blocking, nearly sprung in there. 28-yard return. And the Saints will have a short field in front of them. They take over here, 1st and 10.
60 Pittsburgh. Heavy on the edges. Dude.
They'll run on first down. Swift. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It'll be a Saints first down on a pickup of 13. Last week we saw a rarity. He was over 200 yards on the ground, and they lost. So we'll see if they can get more carries like that and win this week.
And that was interesting watching the game tape, wasn't it? Because it was hard to register while we watched him pile up that yardage and create those nice runs that they couldn't win the football game. But that doesn't mean changing what you do. Continue to feed him the football.
Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Didn't they tell us in our meetings that they needed to account for him on each and every play?
You think? A guy of his caliber? So how does a guy like him get that wide open?
That usually means there's a tire breakdown on what the coverage was. That everyone thought they were doing something, and they were supposed to be doing something else. But bottom line is, no matter what, you have to know where he is and cover him on every play.
And the Raiders call on a nickel set for 3rd down.
Come on. Ready?
Looking to throw. Lawrence. He's going to go up top for the end zone. Oh, it's a touchdown if he holds on. Instead, it's 4th down.
Get him, boys. Get him.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
Hey, you got three. Three down.
Go.
On 4th down, Lawrence. Dancing to his left. And that is going to be incomplete. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires. And the Raider D, they get the football back.
Now, that's just simply good coaching and excellent technique on that play. You know why? Because everyone wants to rush the passer when they want to throw the football, but you're not always going to get there. So what are you taught to do? When the ball's finally thrown, get your hands up in the passing lanes, and they batted that one away.
No. Give them a first down, 15 yards that time for the Raiders.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
From the 45 on 2nd down. Wentz got an open man. It's Harmon. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. That one, a first down pickup of 8. Already over 100 yards passing in just this first quarter. It's 1st and 10. Wentz. Down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. 39 yards there, a big one. He had one touchdown earlier, nearly a second one there.
Yeah, it took a touchdown-saving tackle to keep him out of the end zone after a big play. Perhaps you go right back to him. Don't need the distance, but maybe he can pay things off after a big effort.
That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. 7 big yards on the carry there to get him within range of the goal line with 3rd down upcoming. The crowd here in the Dome making things difficult. 3rd and goal. These two teams all tied after one. Wentz now on 3rd and goal. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Marcus Davenport in there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for him.
That's quite a stand there defensively. A huge sack on 3rd down, and that's going to force him into a field goal attempt.
Seibert's kick is good. And they take the lead here now at 10 to 7. They had it first and goal, 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds a little counterintuitive. But you run out of space to run the deep routes, so they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, there's just not as much space. They end up having to take 3 there.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, New Orleans. John Ross with touchdown number 12 on the year. And once again, the Saints are back out in front. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's Carson Wentz now with the rest of his offensive unit heading onto the field. Been a decent start for him here in this first half, but bottom line, his team's losing. They got to fix something.
And it starts with him. He has to keep that little quarterback strut going right now to make sure that his team sees him as confident. Continue to try and up his game, but just let him know, hey, if I'm around, if I'm the one calling signals and throwing the football, just follow me, we'll get there. Sometimes that will do more to elevate a team than anything else.
See if he has that confidence. Ball on the 30, they'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Now Wentz, catch is made, it's Harmon. And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. And to give this time to the tailback. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Yes, it's the first half, but we'll see if that stuff there on 3rd and 1 comes back to haunt him.
I hope you don't mind, but it's not going to stop me from putting a check mark next to this play. Let's look back as this game progresses and see if this is one of the key plays in the game, even though it occurred early. I don't know why, but it's always agonizing to me to see a guy make a mistake in this phase of the game because you can it's all on him. All eyes there. He's got a chance to make a punt return, and instead he ends up putting it on the carpet.
Puts it on the carpet. The little rubber pellets shoot up. Never a good sign for a returner on this field turf surface.
No, not at all. And a bunch of them go up when they're all trying to get to the football, don't they? They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 39. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
Go, 180! Get in the weight room! Get in the weight room!
They'll run it now out of the gun. He can't bring him down.
The weight room does work.
He'll get it inside the red zone, but only for a couple down to the 19. A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Wentz. Marcus Davenport in there for the sack, and he's closing in on the all-time record. That's number 19 on the year. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. To throw, it's Wentz. And he's going to go down again. Marcus Davenport, it's his 20th sack of the season as he continues what could be a record-setting campaign. Charles, not to point fingers, but how much of this goes on the shoulders of the offensive line? Well, look at the 6 sacks last week. That's the 4th in this game.
Definitely the bulk of it does go on the offensive line. That's what they're tasked with doing, keeping their quarterback upright and clean in the pocket. But I think they have to look at, okay, are we bringing in extra people? Is the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick enough? There are a few other factors they have to look at to try and help out. But you're exactly right. It starts with the O-line.
Going deep downfield for Ross. This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, New Orleans. John Ross with his 13th touchdown of the year and second of the game. And the Saints are able to strike quickly for 6. What's good on the extra point? Now, he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And the last time that they were on the field, a little demoralizing. Missed field goal. You always feel like you want to get it in the end zone, but then, oh, well, at least we're going to get 3. Didn't go through the goalpost, so.
It does test the mental processes of a team, though, doesn't it? Because when you miss a field goal, it's amazing how fast.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Marcus Davenport in there for the sack, and that is now 21 for him on the year. Wow, what a season. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. As they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Pat O'Donnell now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. John Ross and the rest of the offense heading back onto the field. We're in the second quarter. He already has 2 touchdowns. We know how good he is. That's well documented. How do you contain it?
We know he's a nightmare. So in this situation.
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
This challenge was initiated by the guys in New York. Taking a look at the play, less than 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, I'm sure the coach wanted to challenge it, so he's probably going to send the New York office a holiday card. 17 there and a New Orleans first down. Well, he's broken off some big-time runs here in this first half.
Yeah, and let's just face it. When you go into a game, you think you've got the plays that are going to work, but when you actually get out there and they're starting to happen, your confidence rises, and he's running with terrific ability right now.
First down, and they stick with Eckler. Able to slither by. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal.
Spine! No! Go!
50.
Trying to punch it in with Eckler. And he takes it across and into the end zone. Touchdown, Saints. Austin Eckler with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Lutz with the extra point.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off the squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. That's fielded in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Now Corey Davis and the rest of his offense getting ready for their next drive. You better believe that he's well aware he has 0 catches right now, and they're losing, so he's probably a little hungry.
And you know the guys on defense are aware as well. And they're really excited that he has no catches, but they're also worried because a lot of times that's like the ticking time bomb. The longer you hold him down, when he finally explodes, look out.
Yeah, no catches, though, so far in this game. Now the Saints will use their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. They had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. And he'll just keep two hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. From the gun on 3rd down, Wentz. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. On 1st down, Wentz. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now Wentz. Over the middle, complete. That's Harmon. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. 2nd down pass play got him 8 yards. Now they've got a 3rd and a couple remaining. Wentz. He's going to float this over the middle, deep into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Eli Apple. And he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. Fielded about a yard deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. So here are the Saints to take over. They lost 2 straight coming in, but good news for them right now. They've got the lead and the football.
Go!
On 1st and 10, Lawrence going deep downfield for Ross. It's caught inside the 25. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. John Ross, 76 yards. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further.
Well, this is exactly where I expect teams to take a shot. Right after a turnover, you count on the defense being a little bit jumbled coming out on the field, maybe catch them back on their heels, and that's exactly what they did there. They threw it downfield and really created a big play.
Yeah, you said jumbled. They were the definition of jumbled defensively. One play and into the end zone. So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36.
Let's go. Let's do this.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Wentz going to throw. And he finds Corey Davis. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 7 yards to pick up on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time, as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Now a handoff here to his running back. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I said go for it.
John Ross and the rest of the offense heading back onto the field. A monster game so far, 3rd quarter. He is lighting up the stat sheet.
And so many times when you see these types of games, you hear about the quarterback, or we talk about the quarterback throwing guys open, putting it in the right spot. How about some credit for the receivers, though, who find ways to get open, whether they uncover late in the route or they get open early, but they just always find a way, and he's having that type of a game.
Yeah, he's been nearly impossible to cover. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme, and you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Once more, here's Eckler. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Back to throw. Lawrence. Got a man open. It's Ross. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. John Ross, 34 yards, as his guys continue to pour it on. And let's count them up now. 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdown receptions for him in this game.
And just one shy of the NFL record. What a great performance. Going up and catching the football, creating space, and finding the end zone. That's what it's all about.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. And to give this time to the tailback. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Now it looks like we've got a Raider here, slow to get up. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a convert. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Marcus Davenport in there to get him again. That is sack number 6, one off the NFL record of 7.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. Give them 11 yards that time on the return, and possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. John Ross and the rest of the offense heading back onto the field. Sort of a slow and steady game so far, but reliable for him here in this 3rd quarter.
Sounds like we're
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Eric Armstead make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Looking to throw. Lawrence. Open man, that's Noah Fant, the tight end. A big gain there after going backwards, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here.
30 base.
They'll try to pick up the first with Eckler. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Austin Eckler, 54 yards, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Trying to bust out of that losing funk, and these fans have to like this. Saying, all right, fellas, this is more like it.
And I know that if this holds up after the game, They're going to give the fans a lot of credit being at home, getting the support. But you and I both know it goes deeper than that. They had to get it together in their own facility, look each other in the eye and say, okay, what's it going to take to break this losing streak? And they really came together with a good week of practice.
So out come the Raiders. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. The catch and run, good for 24 yards. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. From the gun, it's Wentz. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Matt Milano. The blitz works to perfection as he gets in there to dump him for a loss of 8. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Now this one complete to Corey Davis. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first? So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Throwing is Wentz. He'll find his tight end. That's Waller. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. What a throw right there for the first down. He has taken some real punishment in this game, but still standing in the pocket completing that one.
He's a flat-out warrior. There's no question about that. How about him stepping up into the teeth of the rush?
And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. A great play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Raiders are able to eat just a bit into this sizable deficit.
And that touchdown, well, it barely puts a dent in this lead. And unfortunately, I'm having too many flashbacks right now. I remember getting beat down like this playing before.
Oh, yeah? College, high school?
College. Not a heck of a lot of fun. I still remember playing and trying to tackle an elusive tailback who ended up scoring 4 touchdowns, 226 yards. He scored so many times and had so many great runs, I knew every note to their school's fight song.
I think that ice bath felt extra cold afterwards, too.
Oh, no, there was no ice bath. You're just trying to get out of there before the reporters got to you.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
They'll run here with Eckler, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Now this throw caught left side. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You just go ahead and play.
And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. Big gains in succession. Last one was over 20. This one over 30. He covered a lot of ground, great blocking, and now they can sniff that end zone.
They certainly can, and because of that run, maybe you come back and fake it to him on this play and throw a little play action. Someone should.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And that rushing touchdown is 4th, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it. but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle, and they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now Wentz throwing the out route incomplete. It's Harmon. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a first. And down he goes. They bring down Wentz on the sack. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. To throw is Wentz. This one caught by Davis. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. Into the red zone, Wentz. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And a good gain here of 9 from the 19 down to the 10. It'll be a gain of 9, and it'll be second and about a yard to go for the first. Throwing now is Wentz. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
This is taken at the 3. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. That one looks like he'll throw here. Going deep downfield for Ross. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. Throwing again. Lawrence. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this fourth quarter of play. This quarterback now 12 of 16 thus far. It's 1st and 10. Back to throw. Lawrence. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Micah Hyde. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. and never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again, and who knows, you may meet up with this team again.
A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week, we'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points, allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for New Orleans, it's an important win in terms of staying in the postseason race as they move